Hello beauties and welcome back to Aesthetic Chat with Kiki. I'm your host Kiana Gamble and this kicks off our esthi series on the podcast. I thought it'd be really fun to just chat with other aesthetic professionals, get their opinions on really everything, and just help those future estheticians and current estheticians out there get a little bit more information and build some connections. So my first guest on the series is Malain Rockstrom, former coworker, brow boss. So I'm excited for you all to listen to what she has to say. Enjoy. First, I want you to just tell everyone kind of your story, becoming an esthetician, all the fun things, just because I don't actually know your story.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to finally be on your podcast. I feel like we've been talking about it for years. And now it's finally happening. But yeah, so my story just kind of starts from when I was a little girl. I was always just so into makeup, skincare. My mom was always so good at makeup. She taught me at a young age how to do my makeup. I was always doing my friends' makeup for dances, all the things. And my grandma was very into European, specifically French skincare. So she got me also into that at a very young age. And I just loved the rituals of it, how it made me feel. So fast forward, when I was 19, almost 20, I decided that I wanted to be a legitimate makeup artist because I had already been doing a lot of makeup artistry on the side. And so I felt like I needed to be licensed and I really wanted to make a career out of it. And so went to aesthetic school and in that fell in love with the skincare part of it. Hated waxing, did not think I wanted to do any kind of waxing. And so I graduated in 2013, so 10 years ago now, and had just worked. I got my first job out of school at a little day spa and had to work 2 jobs. So I did 2 waitressing jobs and worked days there. And I had an amazing boss. She was an esthetician herself and a massage therapist, and she sent me to a lot of trainings. And I got certified with the skincare line that we carried there, which was Yonka, a French skincare line. Loved that, learned so much at the training. My trainer did aesthetics in Germany, and I just learned so much from her. She was just a wealth of knowledge, and yeah, it just kind of took off from there. And I knew I just wanted to be really heavy in skincare, really heavy in facials, and I did that for years. And yeah, that's kind of how it all started.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that you had gone into like aesthetic school with a different kind of trajectory. You were really trying to go makeup. And then you kind of did like a little turn and you were like, actually, I want to do facials and things. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't blame you that you didn't want to do any waxing.
Yes. Beauty school, I always just tell everyone you just get your license out of it. And then you learn everything on the field. So yeah, waxing was very, very scary to me.
So how many different places have you been employed, having been in the industry now 10 years? You've been employed a few different places. So in total, how many places have you worked since you graduated?
Oh gosh. So I have worked at 3 different spas, and I took a break from the treatment room actually, and I became a counter manager for Lancome, the makeup line.
Okay.
I did that for about 2 years, and then I missed the treatment room so much. I went back to the makeup world because I had missed that, and then just really, I was being pulled back to the treatment room. I had just missed it so much. So I went and I worked for a spa that carried all of Aveda. It was very holistic, and followed them to Coeur d'Alene. It first opened in Spokane Valley and then moved to Coeur d'Alene and worked for them for about 3 years, and that was great. And then now I'm at Crafted, and I've been there for almost 3 years. So
if you don't mind me asking, was there a reason that actually pushed you out of the treatment room initially and kind of back into more of the makeup side of things? Was there really like anything, or you just felt burnt out, or?
Well, I was still just a newer esthetician, and although I had the really great training for the skincare, I really didn't know how to market myself. This was before like social media was such a great marketing tool. It was really, really hard to build my clientele just because I, again, didn't really have that guidance. And so I was really, truly just getting burnt out. I was working 2 waitressing jobs and then there during the day without, having a full clientele. So it was just getting kind of daunting having to go back and just sit around. And I just didn't have the right tools at the time. So I felt that I needed something a little bit more stable. And I did really miss the makeup world. So that kind of made sense at the time.
Gotcha. And, I'm not as familiar with estheticians and pay and those types of things. So saying you had to work 2 jobs and then also take clients on the side, do estheticians typically work commission-based, like starting out? So is that what makes it really, really hard to make a career out of what you're doing?
Yes, exactly. So I was just commission, and some can do rent, but I think that's, not for the average esthetician that's starting out, just because you don't really have that clientele to help you pay for the rent. So I was commission, and again, I didn't have a full clientele. So if I didn't have clients, I wasn't making money. But then I also, on the other hand, felt like I needed to be there just to show face and try to meet people, because I just knew if I wasn't there, I wouldn't be making money. But so yes, I was commission, and that is very common for estheticians.
Gotcha. And so then, like, transitioning, now you do like a few facials here and there, but you are mainly like the brow queen. So talk about how you really transitioned into really becoming very specialized in one modality.
Yeah, so I really started to see about 5 years ago how big brows were becoming and how important they truly are. I mean, they frame the entire face. In that time, I found Kelly Baker, who I'm very, very inspired by. She does all of the Kardashians' brows. She does all kind of A-list celebrities' brows. So I really started to follow her closely. She would share some of her techniques, always share about her story. And I saw an unfilled need in the brow market, and especially in our area. So I really just started to niche down and just practice. At the time, I was working at a salon and spa. So I would try to grab all of the salon girls, their hair clients, and offer really inexpensive brow waxes just because I really needed the practice. I would do all of my coworkers. I would watch all kinds of videos. And I just really started to hone in on brows and just kind of, again, just practice as much as I could. And it was and then it just happened. I did an influencer in the area, and then it just took off from there.
Oh, wow. So you were obviously fangirling when you went and trained with her, then your idol.
Yes, I was. It was a huge deal. So I went, that was about a year ago, and flew down to Beverly Hills to train one-on-one with Kelly Baker. And that was one of the best experiences. And I mean, that was only a year ago. So I'd already gotten very busy in brows, but it just goes to show, never stop learning. And I still, even though I felt like I'm pretty advanced in brows now, I still learned so much in that from her. And she is just the most humble person. It was such an amazing experience.
And then, so how long would you say it took you to really build a full clientele prior to specializing in brows, and then making that transition into specializing brows? Because it's very hard to get in with you now.
Yeah, I would say, so I've been doing this for 10 years now. It wasn't until about 8 years of being an esthetician that I had a full clientele, like fully booked, a wait list, all of that. And truly, I'm so thankful that I had all of that time before to prepare for it, because had it happened overnight, I would not have been ready. So it's one of those blessing in disguises where you feel like during it, you're like, is this ever going to happen? Is this really what I should be doing? But it's all of those, building blocks, and that's where you just learn your craft, really, and all of the struggle in between. It's just really makes you stronger and prepares you for when what you want to happen really does happen.
So knowing all that you know now, being 10 years into this, what are some things that you wish you would have known starting out? So for those people that are, looking into going to esthetician school, are really new and are really just like having one of those, like what you're saying, like they're going through it thinking, is this ever going to happen for me? Am I ever going to make any money doing this? What would you say to them?
I would really recommend, if possible, doing some kind of apprenticeship, especially for estheticians that are starting out. So working under a mentor for at least 6 months to a year, because you really, like I said earlier, you just learn everything on the field. Again, in beauty school, you really just learn the bare minimum and you get your license out of it. And then it's kind of up to you to do what you want with it. And another thing I would say is just really, really save and invest in yourself. So save money and take as many classes and trainings as you possibly can, because knowledge is power. And your clientele will really feel that if you are so knowledgeable about your craft, and they will just have that confidence in you, and having that confidence in yourself, it really shows. And gosh, there's so many things, but I would say we are lucky in the aesthetics field where there is so much that you can offer. So what I did starting out is I just offered everything under the sun. And then I kind of niched down into what I really loved, because that's how you really find what you're good at and what you really like doing. But yeah, I would say the main things are really just, if you can do an apprenticeship, I would highly recommend that, and really investing in yourself, taking as many trainings. Hands-on trainings are, in my opinion, the best, especially in this industry. There's just so many online courses that you can take now too, which is great. And yeah, just really honing in on what you like doing. I think that this industry doesn't have enough people that really have niched down and found what they're best at in their craft. And I think that is huge. I found that people really try to seek out estheticians that really have just niched into one or two or three specific things and have become experts at it. But yeah, just continue to keep yourself motivated too. And there are so many great podcasts that I love to listen to that give great business advice, treatment room advice, client advice, all the things. So you just really have to stay self-motivated, I think, too.
Do you know, is it pretty common for apprenticeships to be out there for estheticians, or is it something that you definitely have to be self-motivated? You have to go out, you have to, ask for those things or find an employer that's willing to do that. It's not like there's a million job postings everywhere that's like, we're looking for an apprentice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So there's definitely, it's not really being posted or anything like that. It's something that I would just really reach out to the person that you kind of idolize and ask them, and just kind of be that squeaky wheel. And I would just find some people that kind of like fit your wants and needs as an esthetician. And again, just reach out to them. It never hurts to ask. And I think it's becoming more common too. I know that it's very common in the hair world, working with hairstylists. It's a super common thing. And I think it's very important, because you just learn so much on the job. And especially with us dealing with skin and all of the other things, waxing especially, it's very scary to go right out of esthetician school, right to the treatment room, doing that all alone in a room. So yes, I would just recommend reaching out to those. I would find 3 people, reach out to them, and hope for the best.
Do you find in the esthetician world people unwilling to share kind of, their trade secrets or the skills that they've honed? I mean, just because within the injectable world, there are still people out there that, are unwilling to share their settings or what they mix things at or whatever it is. Do you see any of that pushback within kind of your industry as well?
A little bit. I definitely in the beginning, but I think that social media, it makes it almost hard to keep a lot of secrets anymore, but it has gotten a lot better. And I think that women also are just finding, with how much the aesthetic industry is just booming right now, we're all kind of under the same impression, like there's enough faces in this world for everyone to treat. So it's not as bad as it used to be. When I was starting out, absolutely yes. But it is so much better now.
Well, that's good that it's transitioning away from, well, I'm not going to tell you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So would you, I'm sure because that's listening is going to reach out to you, would you be willing to take an apprentice on?
Absolutely. I think, again, kind of going back to what we were just saying, like there's enough faces for every esthetician to work on. So, I mean, yes, because I think that there's such a need, especially where we're located, for professionalism.
That's great. I think that that you'd be willing to take an apprentice. I'm sure that you have a lot of people wanting to know some of your brow secrets. So is that something that you will eventually be doing, training other people to do it? Just because, like you said, there's a million faces out there. You have a very long wait list. I mean, for those of you listening, I've never even had my brows done by Malain because she's so hard to get into.
Yes, I'm actually working on right now, rolling out a training course, which I'm very excited about. I just want to be a service to others. I know that starting out as an esthetician, it was so hard for me to find any hands-on training. And again, for me personally, that's how I learn best. And I just think it is best for working in this industry because that's all we do all day is hands-on work. So yes, I will be rolling out a training course here within the next couple of months. And I'm just excited to help spread my knowledge and help others in the industry because again, there's definitely a need for it. And I just want to be a service to others and help keep this industry evolving.
I love that. You mentioned that there are some good, resources like podcasts and different educational opportunities. What are some of those ones that you really like, just so people can get a good idea? Just because I think trainings are starting to boom, but that also makes it a little bit harder to find those that are really valuable.
Yeah. So some that I really like, and this one actually is no longer, but you can still find it on, I want to say Apple Music, Spotify, and that one is Beauty Biz BFFs. And there are so many great business tips, treatment room tips, product tips, all of the things. There are two estheticians that have been doing it for, I want to say 15 plus years. Dear Lash Love Diaries is a great one too. She just does little short tidbits, which is great to listen to if you don't have a long commute and you just want to have like a 5-minute podcast to keep you motivated. Skin in the City is also a great one. She talks everything, products, treatment room, clients, marketing, all the things. So those are 3 of my top ones that I listen to.
Oh, nice. So you really have stressed the importance of, building a good clientele, how it does take time. What are some of your tips for, 1, getting people to come in to see you, and 2, making sure that they continue to rebook with you?
I really think that comes with just having great customer service skills. I mean, we are service providers and just really creating genuine relationships with your clients and treating them as people and not a dollar sign. I just truly believe that people can really feel that. And I mean, do all of the things that really help with that. Take all the notes, especially if they're a new client and you want to remember the things about them that they told you. And it's hard sometimes because you see so many people. So use those tools in the beginning. And then eventually, once, your clients start to always become your regulars, you will remember all of those things. But in the beginning, starting out, take all of the notes on them. Really make an effort to create a relationship with them. And remember that these people are what pays your bills. So really, again, just hold them tight and treat them like gold. And I cannot stress this enough, but really just specialize in your craft and be so knowledgeable in it because people will feel that and see that and respect it so much.
Great advice, Malain. My last question for you is, if you could only have one skincare product for the rest of your life, what would that be?
I am such a toner girl. I feel like if I could only have one product, toners are just so luxury to me. And at least it would kind of work as an astringent and hydrator at the same time. So if I had to have one desert island product, I guess it would be a toner.
Do you have one in mind? Your favorite toner?
I really, truly love the Grown Alchemist Detox Toner.
Okay.
And that's a great one. The first company I worked with, skincare company, Yonka, the French skincare line, they had a great one. But currently, definitely the Detox Toner by Grown Alchemist.
So fun. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot.
Anytime.
Any last pearls of wisdom that you want to leave with the listeners today, Malain?
Just stay motivated. There's so many great tools out there to help, and just know that it's going to be hard work in the beginning, but it will pay off if you put your heart and soul into it, and it's your true passion.
Love it. So lastly, tell everyone where they can find you on all the social platforms. If they want to reach out to you with any questions, where would they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, just my name, Malain Rockstrom. And yeah, always feel free to reach out with any questions. I'm always so happy to help. But yeah, Malain Rockstrom on Instagram. And again, I have some exciting stuff coming up with the brow training classes. So just kind of stay tuned for that.
Thank you, Malain, for coming on Aesthetic Chat with Kiki. Love chatting with you. If you have not had the opportunity to get your brows done by Malain, definitely get on her wait list. All right, beauties, so you know where to find us. We are Aesthetic Chat with Kiki. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the listening platforms, even YouTube now. My website is aestheticnursekiki.com. The Instagram website is at aesthetic.chatwithkiki, and my Instagram is at aestheticnurse.kiki. All right, beauties, have a great day. Bye.